Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Samson Oladoshuebe, and what we are here to discuss today is basically an introduction for those who are just starting up to learn how to read and write music. So follow me. Okay, so we'll be doing now, what we'll be doing is identification of clefs and staff. In the course of this class, I will let you know what all these mean. So let's start up with clef. All right, like I've written here, a clef is a symbol placed at the left hand end of a staff, indicating the pitch of the notes written on it. Now you may want to ask me that what is a staff, and that's what we are going to now. So I'm going to juggle these two together so that we don't get it mixed up. All right, so a staff or stave, depending on where you are, okay, they are a set of 5 parallel lines and 4 spaces where notes, that's music notes, are written on to indicate their pitches. All right, so this is a staff. Line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and in between 5 lines automatically you're going to have 4 spaces. So this is a staff. This is what they call a staff. Now going back to clef, I said a clef is a symbol placed at the left hand end of a staff. All right, this is the left hand end of the staff, so a clef is always placed here to indicate the pitch of the notes that are written on this staff. Please follow me. Follow me. You are going to get it. All right, don't get yourself confused. Sit back and then follow me. Okay, so types of clef. All right, the first one is the treble clef. The treble clef. Okay, the treble clef is also called the G clef. All right, it is used for ladies, for women, and for young singers. All right. Okay, so this is the symbol of a treble clef, of a G clef. Now it is called G clef because we are going to place it on a line that is said to be G. Please just follow me. Follow me. Now I'm going to place this clef, which is the treble clef, on this staff. Okay, so I'm going to start from the second line here. Just make a dot here on the second line. By the way, this is how to number lines of a staff. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You number from the bottom. All right, and when you want to number spaces also, so it goes 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so let's go back to drawing the clef. Make a dot. All right, just travel this way, this way, this way, and come back to meet it here. All right, this is a treble clef. You can try to do this for as many times as possible until you get it. Okay, just make sure you start from the second line. Okay, now we said it is G clef. Okay, so at the point of starting, that means that where you start from, that line will be named G line. Okay, so let's just put G here as the name of this line, because every line and spaces here has a specific name they call them with an alphabet anyway. Okay, so our second line is G because there is a treble clef here. All right, there is a G clef here. Now that's for treble clef. I will come back to naming the lines and spaces, but just know this first. Let's go to the second clef, the bass clef. The bass clef is also known as the F clef, and this is the symbol. Don't forget that I said the treble clef is known as the G. Don't forget that I said the treble clef is also known as the G clef, and the bass clef is known as the F clef. So I'm going to draw another 5 lines and 4 spaces to make a staff. I'm just going to draw it here so that we can do that of base. I don't want you to get confused, so okay. Now the bass clef is also called the F clef. This is where you start. You see that it looks like, I think we can call it a sequel. It looks something like a sequel, but don't forget these 2 dots. It's very important. Now to start putting, if you want to place this bass clef on a staff, you are going to start from line 4. Line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Space 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't forget the numberings. Okay, so you're going to start from line 4. This is line 4. So just place a dot here and then try to draw it. Now these 2 dots, make sure that you put them on space 4 and 3. Okay, make sure it is compulsory that you put them on. If you do it like this, if you put the 2 dots together like this, you are very wrong. This is not correct. Okay, so just make sure that the 2 dots are placed in this manner. So this line 4 now becomes F. Okay, because it is F clef. All right, I'm sure you have gotten it to that point. Okay. All right, there are other clefs. We have the alto clef, we have the tenor clef, but we're not going to go into that now. It's for a bit advanced class, but let's leave all that now. Let's just focus on treble and bass because they are the ones that are commonly used nowadays. All right, so let me quickly take you around musical alphabets. Okay, I hope I can just rub this off so that, because if you don't know the musical alphabet, you may not be able to name the lines and spaces properly. All right, so let me just quickly do that here. Musical alphabets. Now, just like English language, you know, in English we have alphabets. Almost in all languages there are alphabets. Music is regarded as a universal language, so it's a language on its own, and we have alphabets for music also. Now, as against A to Z for English, in music the alphabets are from A to G. Okay, so when you say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, as the end, you go back A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like so, while learning music, you need to open up your heart, open up your mind. Just believe that you are learning a new language, and you're going to get it. So we have gotten the second line here to be G, just as because of this treble clef. Alright, so I said the next line will just be the alphabet after G, which is A. The next, the next space. So all you do is take line, space, and put those alphabets there. The next one here will be B, that's on a line. The next one will be C on a space, D on a line, E on a space, and F on a line. Alright, so we have not gotten the space 1 and line 1. So what you do is just look for alphabets that are before G, and that's F. So F will be this space, and this line will be E. Alright, so we have gotten the names of the lines and spaces on treble clef. Okay, so anytime you see this clef, once you see this clef in front of a staff, on a staff like this, the lines and spaces are these alphabets. So keep that in mind, because you're going to need them, you're going to use them throughout the course of this music. Okay, so some people, to make it more easier for us to remember, some people give those alphabets acronyms just to make them remember. So for lines, the first line is E, G, B, D, and F. Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, and line 5. So this is every good boys deserves Fanta. Alright? That's for lines. And for space or spaces, if you look at it, it just forms face. F-A-C-E. Face. So this will make you remember faster. Once they just ask you what is line 3 of treble clef, just every good boys. Okay, it's B. What is space 4 on treble clef? Just face. Okay, it's E. So please know all these ones. It will help you very well. So this is our bass clef. Now we have gotten line 4 to be F, just like we did here. Just look for the next alphabet. This F, E, F, G, and here will be A. Okay, so let's come down. This will be E, this will be D, this will be C, this will be B, and this will be A. And here, this first line will be G. So for the lines, I'm so sorry, I will have everything hooked up in the spot. For the lines, we have G, B, D, F, A. Okay? And the acronym is good boy deserves, the good boys deserve Fanta always. Good boys deserve Fanta always. And the space, let me just write it here. Space is A, C, E, and G. Acronym is all cows eat grass. Okay, so for the lines you have good boys deserve Fanta always, and for the space you have all cows eat grass. So it's very simple. Once they just ask you what is line 3 of bass clef, just tell them line 3. Okay, good boy deserve is D, like that. So by the time you do it like that, you are going to get it. So now we want to talk about musical notes, names, shapes, and their values. Alright, because you need to know this so as to be able to know what notes to place on the staff. Alright, so this here are the American and German names of those notes. I'm going to place their British names here. Their symbols will be placed there, and I'll tell you what values they represent. So the first one is the whole note. The whole note is also called the semibreve. Okay, the semibreve, and the symbol of a semibreve is just like a circle, but not exactly a circle anyway. And its note value is 4 beats. Okay. All right. So the second one is half note. Half note is also known as minim. Its note value is 2 beats. 2 beats. It's just like half of a semibreve. All right. So the next one is a quarter note. A quarter note is also known as crotchet. Okay. Crotchet. And crotchet is simple. Just do a minim, and then you're going to shade it. A shaded minim is called a crotchet, and its note value is 1 beat. 1 beat. Okay. Now the next one is the 8th note, and it's called a quaver. It's called a quaver, and it's, you just draw a crotchet, okay, and then put a stem, right? And its note value is 1/2, half beat. Okay. And then the next one is 16th notes, and that is called a semi-quaver. semiquaver. All right, so you draw, just get a quiver and then put another one. Okay, it makes 2, and its note value is 1/4. That's a quarter, if I'm right. Beats, yes. Now, I need to tell us some things at this point. It does not mean that these are all the musical notes we have. There are more than this, but these are the most commonly used nowadays. Okay, we have another note that is called demi-semiquaver, which has 3 stems. Okay, and its note value is 1/8. All right, we have hemi-demi-semiquaver, although those ones are a bit stale now. We have another one. If there is semibrief, of course, you should know that there should be something called a brief. Okay, so a brief is also a musical note, but we don't use them again, so there's no point going over them. So these are the musical notes that you will need at this time, and so please just master them very well, and know these note values. They are very important. Semi-brief is 4 beats, meaning is 2 beats, crotchet is 1 beat, quiver is half beat, semi-quiver is a quarter beat. All right, thank you.